Hi everybody, these are the video notes for our series on Philippians. This series comes to an end today as we look at the fifth and final part of what Paul says to us. Remember that Paul's letter to the Philippians was written while he was locked down in prison, and so it's filled with practical advice of how he was living in prison. And if we take Paul's advice, we too can discover how to live in lockdown. And whether you're working in an essential service or at home, here's how Paul tells us to live. Firstly, to choose joy. He says that 16 times in 4 short chapters. Secondly, to live out humility and self-forgetfulness in all our friendships, relationships, and marriages. Thirdly, to live forward, yes, even during lockdown, to have a goal to work towards. Fourthly, don't let anxiety beat you up. And fifth and finally, to have an I can do attitude. And today is the last look at this remarkable book. Locked up in prison, Paul exhorts the Philippians to have a can do attitude. And so we read in chapter 4 and verse 13, I can do everything through him who gives me strength. Now what we're going to do today is just simply take that verse and write it out a number of times. And then for each time you circle or emphasize one of the words. Let me give you an example. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. I can do everything through him who gives me strength. I'm sure by now you've got the idea. So write out the verse as many times as you need to, and then circle or highlight each consecutive word. At the end of our cell meeting today, once we've looked at this verse in a bit more detail and discovered some of the incredible truths of it, what I would love you to do is to take this and to make a declaration out aloud. Speak it out. Speak it over your soul, your body, your mind, your spirit. And make those emphasis, whether it's I can do or I can do. And so we strengthen ourselves through declarations. As we come to the end of this study today, these are the ways that Paul lived while he was in prison facing execution. They're powerful words when you put them into that context. Even Paul saying, I can do everything through him who gives me strength. And if Paul can say that, so can you. You can do everything through him who gives you strength. In Jesus' name, amen.